My name is Lucas In. I am the chef of Mainstay Chinese in New York, and today we're going to be making calamari toast with hawthorn sweet and sour. Calamari toast with hawthorn sweet and sour. Hawthorn is kind of the key ingredient for the sweet and sour sauce because it's also the traditional ingredient for making sweet and sour sauce red. This is the simplest recipe in the world. I've developed it. You really did not need me on camera here to show you how to do it, but we're going to combine everything into a saucepan. First, water, about 2 cups, your haw flakes, the hibiscus, whole hibiscus flowers, ketchup, rice vinegar. Since we're building this sweet and sour sauce on the sweet and sour notes as well as the fruit notes from the hawthorn, the hibiscus, and the tomato, we're gonna add a little bit of plum sauce as well, just to round everything back up. Hibiscus has a wonderful tart note, and it also releases a beautiful natural dye that helps color the sauce and bring it into that sort of like purple dimension. So at this point, the sauce is reduced a little bit. We're looking for thickness now. You can see that all of the haw flakes have dissolved, which is a good sign. So hawthorn is a small, dense Chinese red fruit that has been processed into what we call haw flakes, which is basically a candy made from hawthorn. What we're looking for here is a sauce that barely coats the back of the spoon so that it's dippable. Strain all that stuff out because you don't want any bits in your sweet and sour sauce. We're gonna chill this down and it's gonna get to the proper consistency. One funny thing about slow-mo is you don't have to act slow-mo for it to become slow-mo.
It's not slow-mo.
Damn it. This, I hope many of you know, is a Chinese chive. We're gonna cut the chives. Usually the last inch and a half needs to go because it's quite stiff. We're going to mince this because we want it small because we want to be able to see it and we want it evenly dispersed into the mixture. So we're going to chunk up our shrimp into manageable sizes before it goes into the food processor. Is almost half a pound of shrimp. This shrimp gets blended in with the calamari. The second bit of the shrimp, we're going to dice up into smaller mini bite-sized pieces that are then going to get folded in. This is calamari, aka squid. Today I'm only using the top of the squid, but the tentacle absolutely can go in as well. We're just going to chop this up. And we just need this in manageable sized chunks. And I believe we are ready to blend. Food processor, not a blender. Shrimp goes in, about 5 ounces, a little over half of it. And the calamari is going to go in. Egg whites. This is the potato starch, sugar, so salt, aromatics, ginger, and garlic. Ginger does the double duty of providing flavor, but also to get rid of some of that fishiness. In addition to that ginger is Shaoxing wine. If you don't have Shaoxing wine, you can use any other type of alcohol. Alcohol also helps get rid of some of that fishiness. White pepper instead of black pepper, sesame oil. Here is a little bit of chicken schmaltz. So 2 tablespoons. Traditionally, it will be lard because it coagulates and will help for the emulsification. It also will provide a little bit more flavor than oil will. This is the secret sauce. This is one of my favorite condiments. It is a Thai shrimp paste with oil, and it's cooked in this beautiful oil that gives it this really brilliant vibrancy. We're pulsing it. I want it to come together, relatively smooth, but not totally smooth. So it's been about 10 seconds. Make sure the stuff on the edge is coming together. You can see some chunks of that shrimp. It's easiest to go by sight. I don't really want to see huge pieces of calamari left. There you go. That's what you want for the base. And you can see it's holding together almost like a dough. This is what you're looking for in terms of its texture at this point. This is the Chinese chives that's gonna go in. Mix this in for color. And then here is the diced shrimp for texture. And we just wanna make sure that all of this is combined nice. I will say this once. It is quite important that we're using white processed bread. We need the density of the crumb for it to become a crust. We need its natural sweetness. and the sugars in it to caramelize to produce a beautiful golden bottom crust. We're taking off the crust on the outside for texture purposes. And then we're just going to put an appropriate amount of the calamari and shrimp paste over the top. You want it to be an even layer all the way to the edges, and you want it to be an even mix of the paste and the little bits of shrimp. These are technically open-faced shrimp toasts. In Hong Kong, as a dim sum dish, we like to crust the outside with sesame seeds to give it another layer of crunch. So just shrimp side down, we're gonna pat into the sesame seed to get a nice crust, and then you want to pat it to release any extra sesame seeds that might drop off, but most of it should adhere. So you have a nice toasty, generous layer of sesame seeds over the top that are lightly toasted, and then you're gonna have the bread on the bottom that's gonna get crispy as well. We're frying around 350. We're looking for crispiness, and we're looking for cookedness. Shrimp side down, because we wanna cook the shrimp first. And then when that happens, what you want to do is you want to also spoon a little bit of oil over the top of the bread, because you don't want the sides to be too cool. You don't want to soak up too much of that oil. It's about 2 minutes. You're looking for golden brown. Halfway through, we're gonna flip this over to make sure that the bread is cooked properly. Here, we'll just do the flip. You see how it's risen? You see how beautiful it is? Okay, so the top is getting nice because it's puffing and it's totally floating. We can assume that it's getting close to being done. It's been about 2 minutes. And then on the other side, you can see that the sugars in that white bread are nice and caramelized. Now that we're almost at the color we want, we're going to take it out because the carryover is going to finish taking the sugars in that bread into a darker brown color. This is what we're looking for. Let it rest for a couple seconds before we stick a thermometer in it. 145. We're going to put this all together. Shrimp toast is fried. It's cooled a little bit, and it's important that fried food cools. Here is our Hawthorn sweet and sour sauce that also has hibiscus and plum. And once it's chilled down, you want it to be able to coat the back of the spoon. We are going to pour this into our bowl. Just make sure you serve it in a bowl that's wide enough so that people can actually dip in it, not like a little 2-ounce souffle cup. Shrimp toast, nice and crispy, right? This is what people pay for on the internet now, right? I'm using a bread knife to preserve the integrity of the fluffiness of the top. So nice bright orange pockets of shrimp, and then studded with the Chinese chives. Make sense? The best way to serve this probably is on a platter like so. That's the dip on the sauce. It's time to eat. Light and fluffy, crispy on the top, on the bottom. Doesn't get better than this. It's a simple seasoning, but everything just comes together. Nothing's too sweet, nothing's too sour. You can eat those all day. Actually, probably don't. For health reasons. All of your favorite flavors of Chinese food are here. Sweet and sour, the herbaceousness of Chinese chives and ginger and garlic, and then toasted sesame seeds over the top, and that crisp that we know dearly and that we love. This is it for me. I can't, this is it.